Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher.
Hi everyone, and welcome to my May monthly reset. I'm super excited for this monthly reset, and I'm really excited just for the month of May in general. But I wanted to do this reset a little bit different and be really heavy on the plan with me portion, because I want to share the habit tracker that I'm using that I purchased off of Etsy. What I thought might be nice to do is have you be able to see inside all of the different planners that I use. And when I start with a habit tracker and the things that I know I want to track daily or weekly or monthly, but how do I take those goals and then break those down and actually put them into my schedule where I'm going to take action. So I thought it might be fun if I shared all of that with you today. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I like to start the monthly resets with a reflection piece. The two planners, these are both Day Designers, have a monthly reflection or a monthly look back in them, and this is where I got the idea to even do that. In the beginning, what I'd like to do in these monthly resets is just look back and see how I did, and I think the reason I'm pretty excited for May is because April went really well, and there's some pieces professionally that went well, and personally that had some goals that I was able to achieve. But if you're doing this and you're new to monthly resets, maybe take a look inside these two different planners that I use, and some questions might give you some inspiration on what it is that you can do for a monthly reflection. For me personally, I know I had a video that I had created for you guys. It was on exercise. So I will link that below in case that's of interest to you. But when I was doing the reflection piece, I felt really good about that. I also created a spring favorites and I made it a health and wellness edition. So it was fun. And in that video, I shared with you my favorite protein powder, meal prep containers, the blue light glasses that I found to help me sleep better. Just anything I can do to help. That's what my channel is all about, helping you be your best self. So in my reflection piece and looking back, I just felt really good about April. Also my personal goals, I felt really good about those, especially my movement goals. I've been really struggling with this one, and last month I shared my approach was going to be using novelty and doing something new because I like learning, and also recruiting my dog to help me get out more. And I have to say, we knocked it out of the park. My dog and I have been having fun exploring and moving more, but I do have more specific goals towards exercise that I'll share with you in this one. Also, I wanted to share with you what the 30-day challenge was for this month in this specific planner that I use. So in the video that I created, the top 5 planners that I was using in 2024, this specific Day Designer planner has a 30 challenge for each month. And this particular month for May, the challenge is mental health. And they give you some ideas and some prompts of things that you might be able to do. But it reminded me of a VIP newsletter that I sent out last May that I'm going to make available to you guys. If you remember the March reset that I did with you guys, I shared everything financial. I shared the spreadsheet that I use for my budget and how I track my finances that way. I also shared with you favorite books that I read, favorite finance gurus that I follow, credible resources and things that you could use if you have goals around finance. So I will link that video below because I have in-depth section about that there. And where I shared all of that was in my monthly newsletter. Now, with May being Mental Health Awareness Month, I wanted to do the same for you. The one that I had sent out, the newsletter dedicated to mental health awareness and resources for either you or someone that you love, I will just share that. So that could be something that if you are interested, that you would like to maybe have some goals around that and some credible resources that you might be able to use, I will link that below as well. Now I want to share my screen with you and show you the habit tracker that I'm using. And in case you're someone who might also like to use this, I just use it on my Google Sheets. But the reason why I really like this tracker is because you can have monthly goals and you can track some of those habits, also weekly, and break that down into daily. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So this is the habit tracker that it shows. As you can see down here, you have instructions and how to use this. This is just on my Google Sheets, but basically what I do is the month before, I just go here and I will duplicate that. And then once you do, you go up here, and this is pre-populated. You just choose whatever month it is. So I'll go back to May here. So I mentioned that this one allows me to track daily, as you can see here, daily habits, weekly, and monthly. So if you're curious how this works, I just have 5. They do allow 30, but as a behavior change specialist, I can say I probably wouldn't recommend that depending on what they might be. But for me, I chose these 5, so here's how it works. So one of the habits, I want to prioritize my sleep daily, and CR stands for circadian rhythm. The days are getting longer, and I might be tempted to stay up later and I have an early time in the morning that I wake up, so I want to stay consistent with my sleep and wake times. This is blue light glasses. It definitely interferes with my sleep if I don't use those, so I want to make a daily habit of using those, and ER stands for my evening routine, which does include journaling for me, and I am solid on this. I have an evening journal routine that I absolutely love. I filmed a video dedicated that you can download my journal practice for free. I'll link that down below. So this is one that I would track. Movement. So I do have a more specific weekly goal regarding running. I'll share that in just a moment, but every single day I want to move. So the journaling, learn and grow. For my certification, I am Mayo Clinic certified, but also board certified. So there's a certain amount of continuing education that we have to do every year to maintain that. And I'm doing some coursework right now, so every single day I like to plug away at that. And I want to do some form of self-care. So you guys, how this works is, say on May 1st, I knocked it out of the park and I did everything. You see how this goes up here on the graph? So we'll basically track every day across here. So across this first one here, it'll track your progress on each individual habit here, and then all of your habits, how you do each day above here. All right, let me show you the weekly tracker portion. So I have 4 goals here. Each week I want to take an area of my home and declutter. I have a big goal for that this year that I've been plugging away at. Listing here is anything of value that I found that week I want to list online and sell. Reading is taking a backseat to me. Normally I do this daily, but with all of the coursework that I'm doing right now, I'm going to just do a weekly schedule for reading, and then running. So I want to be more specific here. And at least once a week, I don't even care if it's just a quarter of a mile, I want to start my running routine again. So here's how you can track if you were to knock these all out. So give me an example over here how that changes. And so there's 4 quadrants here it would track throughout the month. And then down below, you guys, here is where you can track any monthly goals or habits that you have. So I have spring cleaning routine that I want to do for May. Financial review I do every single month. Again, I talked all about that in the March reset that I'll link down below. And I do have some home improvement projects that I'm doing. Now, what I also liked about this particular tracker was a goals section. Although I've not yet used it, I did like this. That's one of the reasons I went with that. But this is the habit tracker, and I really like this. Pretty easy to use. So I hope that you found that helpful looking at the habit tracker. And I did want to mention that sometimes I will use that on my iPad, but mostly I will use it on my desktop. So you can use that on anywhere you have your access to your Google Sheets. So the heart of this monthly reset is going to be the plan with me, which we're going to go to next. So I still have with me next, I don't know if I'll be able to fit this in the frame, but I still use my dry board for the month. So the first thing that I like to do is use my dry erase board and just really plug and play the different things that I might want to accomplish during the month, the different days. For example, if I knew I was going to be running, like I had mentioned, the habit tracker, maybe Saturdays are a good day for the long run, whatever that could be. I try to map it out first of the big projects that I might have going on, or appointments, things like that, on the big dry erase calendar, because again, it's just easy for me to erase and move this around. Then I move everything over into my weekly planners and daily, so let's get to that. Alright guys, this is my daily day designer that also has a monthly layout. I'm pretty sure you guys get a gist of how you do a monthly layout. I also want to show you how I tackle and transfer those monthly goals that I had, as well as my weekly ones and the 2 different planners that I use. So let's get to the weekly schedules. So this one here is a weekly schedule, and it has a really different layout, and there's no time blocking or anything on this one. Here what I do, you guys, is remember I said that weekly I wanted to do a run, declutter, list something to sell, and read, and of course any other projects I might be working on. What I'll do here is I won't assign a time for those projects just yet, but I at least want to figure out which day would it work best to tackle those, and which, if I'm trying to build a daily habit of something, I might just put that on every single day on this weekly layout here. But what I like to do is I like to, on a Sunday night, sit down and figure out which days of the week would a certain task work best. So the finished product would look something like this. So what you'll see here is I have the daily habits that I'm working on at the bottom. So again, I haven't signed a time yet. That comes next. But I know Mondays are my admin days for my business. I do more administrative works. I have coaching calls. Lots of the CC means every day. I do some consulting work on Mondays and Fridays. I teach classes, and those will be sporadic throughout the month, but this particular week it's on a Thursday. I have a big project that I'm working on for work. That's the BSB project. I'll have a filming day perhaps if I want to create a video for either my clients or for you guys. And then you'll see I also have my weekly habits that I'm working on. The running. I also do some meal planning and get groceries on the weekends. I do some prep on a Sunday. I always want to have some family time built in there. And you'll see my goals for decluttering, listing items. I do volunteer. A lot of times that's going to be on Friday. So again, this is just the certain days that I know would work best, or certain things that I have to do on certain days. Next comes the schedule. So this is where I'll start to figure out which specific time in my day I'm going to do each activity. And to be honest, this you probably could leave out. I just like to sit down and look at my week as a whole. So you could do this on Google Calendar as well, or you could just take your task from the weekly one and just go straight to plug it into your day. I just like to do this, and I like to see if I can rearrange things. Some things are appointments or coaching calls, times I'm teaching, things I can't. But otherwise, if I'm going to do a module of my coursework, I can figure out where that might fit best in my day here, or when I do some admin work, or when I might film, things like that. I just like to look at my week as a whole in these time blocks and figure out where to put each activity. So this is my daily day designer. Now once I have everything scheduled, then it can go here because it'll be permanent for that day. And I'd like to do this sometimes the day before, but a lot of times I do this like a Sunday before or even the morning of. It just varies. But what you'll see here is over on the left with the smaller blocking calendar that I have for the week, I just transferred over what I wanted to get done on Monday the 22nd over into the exact time frames I would do that, and then a to-do list. I really like this day planner, and I know a lot of people don't use paper planners anymore, but I still love it. And a lot of the other daily habits that I'm working on, those would be covered in my morning routine or my evening routines. But this has the top 3 tasks, and then just some general to-dos that I had to do that day. And there's a little space that you can jot down some gratitude. So this is basically how I take my month, break it down into which days do I want to do certain tasks. Then I block it out for the week and transfer everything over and really knock out everything I can for the day. So that was a little bit more behind the scenes of the way I like to take the bigger picture goals for the whole month of May and break those down, and where I can find space to carve out time to make sure that I'm taking action on those, whether that's weekly or daily. I hope that you found this helpful. I know I shared a ton of different resources in this video, so I'll make sure to link everything below. Thank you so much for letting me share this with you. If you like content like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can also join my VIP list at bertavip.com. Thank you again, and I will see you next time.